Howdy, partner.
Hey,
How
how's
you
it
doing?
going? Howdy.
Welcome to my show there, partner.
Boa tarde, boa tarde.
Yeah, I was just kidding, man. Was that what you were expecting when I told you were going to be interviewed by a Texan?
No. No.
So welcome,
I,
man. Welcome. I understand you're not a stranger to Texas at all, right?
no, I lived there for almost 2 years. My passing through Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, and a little bit in between. But yeah, a few years ago, back in 94 to 96.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about that. So you were in Houston, right, for a while?
Well,
Nice.
my house was there, but basically worked between the north and south of Texas. I was with a company at the time. There it was called Pacific Sunwear of California, and I helped expand. It was about say about 10 shops throughout Texas, and then also in between, like Arkansas and everything else. Traveled a lot, but in retail. So, and they're still now they're on the Nasdaq. It's Tax Sun, and I
Oh,
was part of the
dude,
expansion where,
that's
when I grew up with them
fantastic.
in the East Coast and from the West Coast company.
Awesome. So for those who are tuning in, we are talking to Antonio Barbosa, right? Is that how you say it?
Barbosa, exactly, like
Barbosa.
Captain Barbosa.
Calvin Barbosa. Barbosa. That's a pretty awesome. So is that what does that mean? That's like a beard something, right? What does that mean? Does that mean something?
But it's actually it's an old. When you look at the history and the name of it, it's actually a Burgish name, and it's pretty well Portuguese basic. But I don't think it has anything to do with beards.
Uh,
Although I
I was gonna
have,
question that because I've seen pictures of you without the beard. I was like, is that why you got the beard going? Is that your signature now?
no, after I was confined, like everybody else in the world, and things change, and I just kind of got lazy for 3 months, and then I just let it go. It kind of looked good, so let's just
Awesome.
say
I
it's
love
a
it.
new image thing, I guess.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. So, tell me a little bit about you, man. So you lived in Houston for a while. You were selling sunglasses. I mean, it's just that's a little bit of far away from home when it comes to real estate. No pun intended there for the home. But
No,
how did you land real
well,
estate?
well, I grew up, just to give you a little bit of background about myself. I was born in Angola, which is a older colony, Portuguese colony. And so before the revolution, we moved to the United States, and I grew up in the East Coast. So basically, up until you finish school, university, then the opportunities surged, and they happened, and that's when I moved to Houston. And after running around between the country for a few years, you know, uh, the reality is that I moved my I moved to Portugal just for a temporary period, because your mom and dad take care of you when you're little, and you gotta come back. You gotta give back, and that's what I did. But I didn't plan on staying here for now for 19 years, almost 20 years, going on almost 20 years, close. And so it kind of just developed. And I said, when I moved here at that time, I said, let me see what's available and the opportunities. And I got the Remax network, and it just kind of going from there. I had no clue about real estate, nothing. But I went back to school and I learned the basics, and and it's a great school, Remax. I got to say, a lot of what I practice today, the philosophy, it's great. Like a lot of other franchises, that happened to be the one. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've kind of been on my own real estate firm, and basically just working with my clients, my database and everything. And I figured it just kind of went from there. And when you say you don't need a network, not that you don't need a network behind, but a lot of other things that I do has to do with my clients and just referral business. That's basically what my business is here in Portugal, has been in the last 4 or 5 years, of course. And so, I learned the basics, and it just took off. I mean, I'm from the hometown. I'm from here. People knew me, trusted me, etc. So it's a matter of getting to know what the business is and having a passion for it. And And that's basically, you know, other things in my life have evolved, but all come back to real estate, obviously. You know, we could talk about those or another time, but basically it all comes down to real estate and the people. You know, it's real people, real life, and real estate.
That's awesome. So
That,
speaking of backgrounds, man, what you got behind you there? Is that Portugal?
that's Portugal. That's the Minho River. Uh, it's embracing the Atlantic, hugging it, and sort of giving it a little kiss. You know what I mean? So it's the Bay Area of the Minho River. You know, I kind of like to put things in a little bit more romantic sense. And so,
Gotcha.
but basically, it separates Spain from Portugal. It's the northernmost tip of the Iberian Peninsula. Between, and so that's my home ground. You know, my backyard. Basically, that's a view. You know, that I have and fortunate to look at almost anytime I want. You know. And it's a
That's awesome.
beautiful, beautiful view. Beautiful view. It's the Bay Area of Caminha, the Foz do Rio Minho.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what's the name of the city that you live in right now?
Vila Nova de Cerveira. Okay. Before I used to live here in Caminha, where you see this background.
Hmm.
But right now I'm in Vila Nova de Cerveira. I'm in a small little village called Sapardos. Quaint, very, very. You know, nothing happens, but that's why I love it here. Just the old laid back kind of old. Imagine if you're in not Houston, but where can I imagine? But more interior wise, I wouldn't say about Texas where you can find, but I'm still used. You have some more outer skirts, outer
Mm,
skirts, but it's very very small village. You have maybe 200 people living there at any given time, if
gotcha.
that.
So
And it was my hometown. My mom and dad used to live there. That's the house that I currently live in, and it was always something that just you fall in love with, and that you want to one day. Nobody else is going to have it. It's only mine, and so just to renovate it and live there, because you're part of there. All
yeah, yeah, you got memories there and all that. Absolutely.
exactly,
So
exactly.
when it comes to your practice, are you practicing only in that area, or do you practice all over Portugal?
Now all over Portugal. I mean, we're just to give you an idea. On Monday and Tuesday, I was in the south part of Portugal in the Algarve,
Hmm.
and Alentejo with actually a client from Gibraltar,
Hmm.
looking at some land for him to build, and at the same time, I was looking for a house for another client of mine, Australian, but he lives in Germany. So you kind of you do these things when I go there. Also look at other properties for other clients. But between north, south, in between the islands, it's basically where the client wants me to find them a home. I'm a buyer's agent, okay? So I work with the buyer strictly. I don't have listings. So my listings are from other colleagues that I sell. I partner with them all over, from north, south, in between. A lot of them are from the old Remax network, because that's where I have a lot of my still friends and colleagues, and the way the system works, I know, but I deal with all my colleagues, whether it's, you know, um, Keller Williams or Century 21, soon EXP as well.
That's right. We're moving in.
I'll be partnering with them if they, it's about they have the listing for my client, the right
Absolutely.
listing, the right price, and I work everywhere, wherever. And